right, so with this lesson here, we're going to be taking a look at multiplying composite polynomials, which is a little bit of a review from the previous lesson as well. And one of the examples is one straight from the prior lesson. But we're going to be taking a look at what do we do when we multiply two polynomials. Now, these can be any polynomials, not just binomials or monomials as well. And how do we kind of put that in and expand and simplify? And so remember that the expand part is the multiplying, and the simplifying is bringing all of our like terms together. So I'm going to be using both grid and foil in this case here for different ones. Once we get to a little bit more difficult ones, we're just going to use grid method. So we're going to start with using foil in some of these easier ones, especially, well, I shouldn't say easy, I should say more simple. But I have some levels here, and I've leveled them from easy to very hard. Don't see that as being, if you can't do an easy one, you can't do a hard one. It's where we start and we kind of work our way through, and just becomes a little bit more complicated as they go. So let's look at this one right here. We have a plus 3, and we're multiplying a plus 2. These are both binomials. They both have two terms in there. Okay, we have an a and a positive 3 and an a and a positive 2. And if we use FOIL, and now I'm going to go through a fairly straightforward way of doing this. We do the first ones first. So a times a is a squared. I'm just going to do the result here. I'm not actually going to show all the work doing that. It might make it a little simpler for some of you. So first, outside is a and 2, so that's 2a. Inside is 3 and a, so that's 3a. And our outsides are 3 times 2, so that is 6. Now, when we look at something like this here, we've done the expanding part, that's the multiplying. The simplifying is by putting like terms together, which we have 2 there. We have 2a and 3a. So our answer here is a squared plus 2 plus 3 is 5a plus 6. Now again, when we add these together, okay, we're just adding how many a's do we have, okay? We're not doing a times a, that's not what we're doing. We're doing how many a's do we have here and how many a's do we have here? It's 2 and 3, so we have 5 in total. And that's how we come up with our answer there. Now we could get something that's a little bit more complex, okay? And we're gonna move on to what I'm gonna call a medium. Okay, and so we have 3d minus 2 and 2d plus 5. Again, two binomials, which is hopefully gonna be, should be fairly straightforward. I would say the binomials should be fairly straightforward. It's once we get to using trinomials and stuff that it becomes a little bit more complex. But I'm going to use the grid method in this case here, and I'm going to do 3d, and this is negative 2. We have to be very careful that we keep that negative in there. And then we have 2d and positive 5. And now that's a positive, that's a negative. Very important that we remember that those are different. Now 3d and 2d. Okay, this is where it's a little bit more complex, is because we're dealing with numbers and letters, is 6d squared, 3d times 5, 3 times 5 is 15, and we just have 1d, so it's 15d. And then we have 2d times negative 2, and so this is negative 4d, and negative 2 times 5, which is negative 10. And so you'll notice that I put the multiplication in there, something I didn't do with FOIL. Again, you don't have to do that. Okay, I do that just to kind of show where my numbers are coming from. Now, if you watch previous videos, you know that sometimes my water pump goes off, and there it is right there. All right, so then we take our terms and we put them together here. 6d squared plus 15d minus 4d minus 10. Again, order doesn't matter, but as long as we have those 4 terms that we pulled out of there, we look and we see we have these two like terms. We have positive 15 and negative 4 d's. Okay, both cases there's a d in there. And so when we put them together, this is positive 15 and negative 4. Now some of you are working at home there. You know what this is, positive 11 minus 10. Okay, so again, 15 positives and 4 negatives. Again, we're adding them together. And if you aren't doing it in your head, you can also do it on a calculator. And so we have 15 plus negative 4 gives us 11, or 15 minus 4 gives the same thing. It's still 11. And that's how we expand and simplify in those two ways there. So using FOIL and using our grid method. And we're going to keep using both those methods as we go.